Hey guys, Toolman Tim here. Welcome back to the workshop where we create community, find freedom, promote preparedness, and share success. It's Saturday morning, which means it's time for another edition of the weekend workshop. And this week, I have got for you a really cool one. This is the second year that I've done this. I started a tradition. You guys follow my channel. You probably know I like top 5 and top 10 lists. But even before I ever created content, I always loved watching them at the end of the year on YouTube. So this week, we're going to do the first part, or part 1, of my top 10 prepper items for 2021. All right, guys, real quick before we dive into the list, you want to know more about who I am? Quickest way? toolmantim.co. Run by there. You'll find the monthly newsletter, all my social links, and the shop where I've got way over 100 and 150 more products coming that I've used and abused, that I've tested, that have made me money or saved me money in my handyman business. And of course, they're all in categories, but my favorite one is the preparedness related items. So check out some really cool recommendations for prepper gear. Anything you pick up there, or even if you start your shopping there, supports the content I create. Okay, so I put together a top 10 list, and I knew that I'd get a little long-winded. I just really wanted to break it up over a couple of weeks, especially at Christmas time. People don't have as much time to watch videos, so I wanted to keep these a little bit shorter than normal. So let's dive right in. Item number 1 is the Cat brand Ratchet Straps. And a lot of people might say, well, I'm not sure a ratchet strap counts. And I'll be like, well, that's okay. You can be wrong. No big deal. But honestly, a ratchet strap has 1,000 uses. This summer, I had an old shed that started to get that kind of leaning look, like it had about 3 beer too many. And I was able to put an eye hook in the bottom of one corner and the top of the other and use this ratchet strap to ratchet it back into place. Worked great. Another thing right now, I just installed 2 solar panels on the roof of my storage container right next to the garage. And I needed a way to keep them in place, so I made a frame out of 2x4s, put some patio stones on them, then put ratchet straps around the entire sea can to hold it into place. Now, you know, I'm big into preparedness, and to me, preparedness is prevention. And if you can prevent an accident, then, you know, all the better. Have you ever seen somebody put a ratchet strap on it and go, that ain't going nowhere? That gives you the peace of mind. And, you know, whether you're bugging out, or you're just running stuff to the dump, or, you know, running a side hustle for somebody as a handyman, whatever, you need to make sure that the stuff you put on your truck, your trailer, the roof of your van, whatever, stays in place. And I have tested a ton of gear, and these Cat brand ratchet straps, for me, have been the answer. So if you're looking for a good recommendation on them, there'll be links for all the products in the description when we're done. These are about 46 bucks on Amazon for a 4-pack. 1.5 wide, 16 foot long, a nice plastic laminated double steel hook. So there's 2 hooks side by side on the end of it. And this thing is just awesome. I use them every day. We bought 2 4-packs. You guys know I like black and yellow. So they fit right in with all my DeWalt tools. But we bought 2 4-packs. One goes in my work truck, one goes in my other work truck. And we have put them to the test. We've beat them up. We haven't wrecked one yet. And they've held up. And the best part is they hold up to the sun. Because usually I used to buy these ones from, like, I almost hate to say it, like Dollar Tree. They're like, well, $1 or $3, depending on which dollar store I got them at. They were pretty good, but as soon as they'd get in the sun, they'd start wearing and tearing. And so then I tried some other brands, but this Cat one's the one I stuck with. So that, for me, out of top 10, that, you know, it's the most boring of the bunch, but it definitely fit my top 10 prepper items for 2021. Number 2. And that is this guy right here, the Coast 615 Lumen headlamp. Now, I don't have to tell us preppers or people who are into preparedness that, you know, we might look like a bit of a geek with this on. I did this for my other video because I've recommended this guy a couple of times, and I put him on upside down, actually. But this thing has been great. It takes AAA batteries. It's very tough. The plastic is definitely sturdy. You can focus it on and off. And who doesn't want to be hands-free, whether you're working or you're in a power outage? We keep a couple of these in our blackout kit in the bedroom. We had a power outage just yesterday from when I was filming this, and hauled this guy out, put him on, went downstairs, got the breaker in the right position so I could go outside and hook up my generator. This thing is awesome. I love the cloth elastic fabric strap that comes with it. It's comfortable. You can adjust it to a bunch of different positions. And for me, and you might wonder why I recommended this one. Well, I spent way too much time researching headlamps, and the Coast brand, honestly, is at like every big box store out there. And this is the best price to lumens to quality comparison that I could find out of any of them. This is the cheapest, brightest headlamp that I could find. 615 lumens for right around 46 bucks on Amazon right now while we're talking. It has a rubber-coated waterproof switch. It's a three-way switch, so it goes bright, medium, low, and off. And again, look for these when they go on sale. I buy a bunch of them. But as far as my, and a lot of these items on here, they're not going to be sexy, but they're just a top quality product that I've used a bunch. So 615 lumen, Coast brand headlamp, 46 bucks on Amazon. That is item number 9 of my top 10 prepper items for the year. Number 8, and if you guys followed me last year, you'd know I had a Powerex charger. Actually, this guy right here, he's an 8-port. He's fairly quick and he works okay. My biggest complaint with him was the proprietary power cord that it comes with. So I was looking to get into doing more battery comparison videos for my channel, which I haven't really done a whole lot of yet. And I came across this guy right here. And this is the Powerex Charger Analyzer. Two things. Number one, first thing they did was they fixed the proprietary cable. And now they just have a straight up AC adapter that you can get off the shelf anywhere. That part to me is worth a ton, because this thing is useless if I cut the cord by mistake, because it has some kind of weird serial pin adapter thing. So this thing only has 4, but it will charge significantly faster than that. This would be my go-to charger every day of the week if it held 8 batteries. Although rarely do I need to charge more than 4 at a time. But what's great about this, you can set the level of your charge. So if you want to do quick charge, low charge, whatever, you set your milliamp hours right in there. It also has a discharge function. So if your batteries are acting weird or you want to make sure they're dead before you fully charge them, you can do that. It has a reconditioning. And from what I've read online, it has one of the best reconditioning functions of any charger on the market. This thing's a little more expensive, but it has a really cool LED display on the front, and it'll tell you the percentage of the charge, how long it's been charging, how much power it's taken, or you can do the discharge recharge, and it'll tell you the actual capacity of your batteries. So you can actually do a discharge with, say, your Duracells or your Kirkland brand and see what the milliamp hour capacity is for all of those when you pick them up. And yeah, I've really liked this. It takes AA's and AAA's. It lights up. It's a little more confusing in the interface than this one is. I mean, this one's literally put it in and they start. And this one basically will, but you got to click through a couple of times. It has the slot button, the up and down, and the enter, and you can select your recharge rate, your discharge rate, and all of that. But beyond that, yeah, if you're looking for the geekier, bigger brother to the 8-port Powerex that I always used, check this guy out. Again, links in the description below, but I've really liked it. It's a little more of an investment, so it may not be for everybody, but if you're a rechargeable battery geek, this might be something to check out. Now, number 7 of my top 10 prepper items for 2021, and this is the only one that was technically on the list last year, but I'm not cheating, I promise. So this year it is Doc Bones and Nurse Amy's The Survival Medicine Handbook, Volume 4. And the best thing I like about this is the fact that even if you never read it, it would make a great weapon. No, I'm just kidding. But this is the type of book that every prepper honestly should have on their bookshelf in their library. And we all consider having a hard copy, a paper, actual physical books you can read, an essential thing to have just in case, just in case whatever happens to happen. Doesn't matter, good, bad, whatever, but we want to have hard copies on hand. And this book is incredible. They call it the Essential Guide for When Help is Not on the Way, and they have basically doubled the amount of content that was in last year's it was from a few years ago, but I bought it last year. And they're on the expert council with me on the Survival Podcast, and I love supporting, fellow content creators. These guys have been at it way, way longer than me, and they're incredible. If you haven't seen them before, look them up. But they never paid me to say this. They never asked me to say this. But this book is an incredible resource. Look at how many stinking pages, and there's pictures upon pictures and graphics and things. It just breaks down absolutely everything you might need to know for off-grid medicine, and it's just great to have. It was so good that we ended up surprising one of my better customers who lives out of town. She saw that I'd posted online, said she liked it. We never told her anything, and then just sent it to her as a surprise. And of course we kept the third copy as well. I'll probably give that away to somebody else, but this one right now, what is the price if I can find it? Don't know if I'll be able to. Yeah, Doc Bones book, $42 right now on Amazon. They also have a full colored edition if you're looking for it, available only on their website, doomandbloom.net, so you can check that out there as well. Okay, now number 6, and this is an item that probably would have been higher on my list if it wasn't so friggin' expensive, and that is the Gentent. I like this thing a lot, but it didn't make my top 5 simply because it's a little more expensive. In Canada, I paid way over $200. It's $149 on Amazon American right now. And this thing is cool. It basically weatherproofs your generator. And I mean, I had spent close to $1,000, not quite $1,000, but close to $1,000 on my tri-fuel Furman. It's my baby. I love that thing. It works like a top. It runs. Yeah. But when do you ever need to have your generator outside? Of course, when it's raining, when it's snowing, when the wind's blowing, when it's nasty out, it's cold, it's wet. So I started I thought about building an enclosure, and I may still do that because I love having projects. But this thing is really cool. I'll put some pictures up or a little bit of footage of it. And it's basically, you put 4 brackets on your generator. They permanently stay there. And this has tent poles that run around it, and then a cloth, I say cloth, more like a canvas covering that goes down over your entire generator. It doesn't affect the air intake. It doesn't affect the running of the engine. But what it does is it protects all of the electronics on the front, and it protects the top of the generator to keep all the water off. So it'll hold up to, I don't think it's close to hurricane force winds, like 18 inches of snow. It'll keep all your electronics dry while you're using it. It even has an access panel on the top so you can refuel without removing this entire thing. So if you guys, and it's basically universal. So if you've got a generator lover in your family and you cannot think of anything else to pick up for your generator lover, then this may just be the item for you to pick up. Like I said, it's a little expensive, and I love the tent poles. I love the canvas cover. I love the see-through kind of, or the flap-up piece for covering the electronics. And there was two issues why this didn't make it higher on the list, really. Number 1 is the cost. It is a little expensive. And number 2 is the 4 brackets that mount permanently on your generator. I wish they'd have made them out of metal. They're made out of plastic, and for $150, I think they could have made them out of metal. But I still really like it. It's a really cool option, especially for somebody who lives in an area that they may not be allowed to put up a permanent enclosure for your generator, or you may just not want something in your backyard like that. But this is great. You put it on, it allows you can wheel your generator around, you can refuel it, you can plug your plugs in, and you can leave it outdoors in the worst weather and not worry about your generator getting absolutely wrecked, because it's an investment. And of course, again, you haven't succeeded if your generator stops because of the weather. If your generator breaks down, you're not, well, I mean, it happens to the best of us, but anything we can do to prevent something from causing us to have a really bad day is not a bad thing at all. And this Gentent, I love it. It's called the Storm Bracer. And yeah, so here we are, 70-mile-an-hour winds. So sorry, they say hurricane force precipitation and 70-mile-an-hour winds and up to 18 inches of snow. Sub-zero temperatures will not crack. So they're pretty highly on it. I've watched the videos on their website, and the thing really does hold up well. I'm kind of looking forward to trying it out if we lose power in a snowstorm, but I may just set it up and take it out and give it a shot anyway. So I hope you enjoyed the look at, I don't want to call it my bottom 5, but we'll call it part 1 of my top 10. So items number 10 through 6 of my top 10 prepper gear for 2021. These were 5 of the top items, the creme de la creme, as Macho Man Randy Savage would say, items that I use on a regular basis. And next week, you'll see my top 5 prepper items for 2021, and every item on there is something I use on a regular basis, and that is why they made the top 5. So anyway, guys, like I said, toolmantim.co, you can check that out. If you like my gear recommendations, if you're into preparedness and prepping, and you want to check me out, hit the subscribe button. We have 2 live streams a week, the podcast, which goes out 3 times a week, and of course, 2 tool review and gear review videos every single week. So, as always, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.